Here we go, guys, it's Craft Club time. Can you believe it? We're on month number 19 and this is all about paper piecing techniques. Now, when it comes to the index card, you've got a few examples there where you've got over 63 individual elements. Let's dive in and have a look at exactly what you're going to be getting. Now, of course, you guys know by now it comes in your wallet. Now, I'm just going to take this all out. I've taken them all out their pockets this time, make it easier for you guys to see, giving you a little sneak peek already as to what you're going to be getting. But you're going to get your booklet. You've got your QR code that will take you to the tutorial techniques with myself, and then you've got your visual step-by-steps. You've got them written, and as I say, follow that QR code. You'll have the videos as well. Notes there if you want to leave yourself little notes. Now, when it comes to the paper piecing techniques, it's all about these two dies. You've got your Kingfisher, your Floral Rose. Now, these are the two dies when it comes to the techniques, but you are also giving you 11 pots of all of these superfine glitters, which are going to be part of the techniques. Now, to adhere the glitters, we're even giving you some of our glue. This is our white tacky glue, 20ml pot with a really fine applicator. That's in there. We are giving you some of your black panels. Now, when it comes to these ones, they're 4x4 and you're getting 10 of them. That's what you're going to use when it comes to die cutting the dies. We're also giving you some acetate panels. Now, these are going to be great for one of the techniques when it comes to colouring in, and with these ones, you've got 5 of these. We're then going to be giving you some double-sided adhesive sheets. Now, you've got 5 of these ones as well, and this is going to work when it comes to additional techniques that you'll find in the tutorial videos. You've got them. Then we are giving you all of these A5 hold and release sheets for when you do your paper piecing with your cardstock. A5, as I said, and you've got 10 sheets. What I'll just show you though is you're going to need very, very little. So these are going to last you a long time. Then to do the decoration, to do the mats and layers, we're going to be giving you your block cardstock. 8x8, 16 sheets, multiple colours when it comes to the deep pastel tones, including the black as well, so that's covering for all occasions. Now, these are all of the components that you're going to get to start you off when it comes to the techniques of paper piecing. You can, of course, come along and then you can use your own cardstock, you can cover and create your own techniques, you can do what you see within the tutorials from start to end, or of course you can then go rogue and create whatever you want using the contents of Craft Club. It is number 19 and it's all about paper piecing techniques. Now, when it comes to Craft Club month number 19, this is of course all about the paper piecing techniques. Keep it really, really simple and create something like that when it comes to paper piecing with the cardstock. Now, we're going to create that exact same card. I'm going to change the pattern paper slightly, but let's delve in and get started to creating that card. Now, what I've already done here to start with, I've got a 5x7 card blank. I've used my own white card and a little bit of my own black card, and we're going to start off with doing the basics of the mat and layer. That's just going to simply go in and onto our card blank where it's going to ground the actual image that we're going to build just shortly. And then I've taken one of my own pattern papers. For anyone who wants to know, I've cut it to 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Use my own white card, and that peach cardstock is from Craft Club month number 19. So I'm just going to take my foam pads. We want to add a little bit of lift. It's going to give that paper pieced rose that little bit of extra height and dimension. And as you can see here, what I've also done, a little bit of the scraps, I've gone in and created a central panel. Don't worry about the missing bit, because that's going to be covered. Let's do the last layer before we get into the die cutting. Another piece of my own white card, 2.5 inches, 3.5, little bit of the peach, and we're going to elevate that once again on the foam pads. If you have your small foam pads left over from the decoupage Craft Club, you can start to use that one, but I've just gone in with my foam pads that are on a roll. So let's go into the centre. That's the basis of our card blank, ready to go when it comes to the die cutting. So we're going to go in now with the black card. So you've got your panels in the actual Craft Club. Now, what I'm going to do to start with, another piece of the black card. I've already cut that to 2.5 by 3.5, and what I've put on is one of the double-sided adhesive sheets and just trimmed it. Remember, you get these in the Craft Club month number 19, and we're just going to then start to peel it off. I'm not going to peel it off completely just yet. We're going to get the die cutting done. Now, within these dies, these are actually Creator card dies. So they're nice, they're small, they're diddy, but they can cut into your card if you use the die on its own. However, I want to release the die, so I'm going to use the outer die cut. So let's align that one up, and then let's press into place using our low-tack tape. Now, these are our Gemini wafer-thin dies. So we're going to go into base plate, frosted magnetic top plate, and then we're going to run that one through the Gemini 2 machine. Now, this will go through your OG Gemini, this will also go through your MIDI. This specific die will just manage to go through your Gemini Mini as well. So we're going to then pop all these little bits out here, take that out, and you've got that lovely rose with the fine outline that you can see here. Now, we need to create a base to do our paper piecing. Now, paper piecing, what we need to do is we need to take this die again. Now, I don't need the outside die, I only need the detail die. Now, it is crucial we take all the little bits out. I tap it on my counter for speed. You can be using your die brush if you want to. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in with one of the colours of cardstock you get included. Now, the size of it, as long as it's big enough when it comes to your actual die. I've already done a few other colours, but I'll show you. For instance, these are the ones that I've already done, and you can just start to see the outline of the rose, and I'll show you how we do that. So we're going to go in with your colour card. We're going to go in with one of those backing sheets for the paper piecing that you get included, and then we're going to peel that off. Now, we're going to peel it off. Now, it's sticky, but it's not overly sticky. It's a nice little light tack. So we're going to then pop our cardstock over the top here. So we're going to pop that over the top, press that on, and then we're going to pop our die over the top. Now, at this point, what's key for this is we'll want to die cut it, but we don't want to die cut it all the way through. We only want to cut that actual layer of the colour card. So we're going to adjust our plate configuration slightly. So we're going to then tape that down like so. Let's go back in with our plates. Now, what we're going to do here, once we've got that secure, we're going to pop that onto our cutting plate. We're then going to go frosted shim. We're going to take out the magnetic shim, and then we're going to then put in our top plate. So that is just enough pressure that it's going to cut through the green cardstock, but not all the way through the hold and release sheet. So if we then take that one out, what we've then got is a lovely die cut on that green layer. So let's take the low-tack tape off, take the die off here, and then if I show you, the easiest thing to do is take away the outer edge. Now, this is where the cardstock is cut perfectly, but it's not cut all the way through. That is what we are wanting. So if I then come along with my other ones, and we're going to peel these off, we're going to go in. Now, notice with this one, I've gone at a little bit of a wonky angle. It doesn't matter, because all that I'm going to want with the top parts is the petals. So if you go off slightly, don't worry, as long as you've cut the focus of the die that you're going to paper piece, that's all that matters. So we're going to go in, that is now I'm popping these to the side, but we could be using these elsewhere because you've got your coloured outline, but this is what we are wanting. So let's go back now into our card, taking our piece of black card that's got our double-sided adhesive sheet on, and then we're going to take our die cut rose. So we're going to then align that one up, and the size of the black card is the perfect size that fits my outline of my rose. I've got a little overhang, so I'm going to take my scissors, and then we're going to then just chop that end off, down the side. Now what we've got, although we've got that lovely outline rose, in the background, that's nice and sticky. So that means we can come along now with all of our paper pieced bits and paper piece them in. So let's go in with our pokey tool. So we're going to have a look and we're going to decide where we're going to go. So let's start off with the light colour. And then because it's the hold and release sheet and it's a low tack, we're just going to then pick that up with our fingers, our tweezers, or of course when it comes to your pokey tool, and then we're going to paper piece that into place. So we're going to work our way around. So we're going to lift. As you can see, I actually find it easier with my fingers. You might find it easier with the pokey tool. You might find it easier when it comes to your tweezers, but you're going to work your way around and paper piece. It's a lovely thing to do, and that is changing the colours to add extra dimension. So let's do another one within that light peach. What we're then going to do is we're going to go into that darker kind of red that we've got. And this is going to go around the base of our actual rose. So we can then go along. We're going to pick up here. And then we're going to then just tighten that in with our pokey tool. We're going to take our next one. We're just going to lift. And these hold and release sheets do exactly that. They hold them ready for us to release them when we do the technique. So we're going to take the next one, and you're just working your way around the full image. Let's go into the green now, and then we can start to take the stem. We're going to pop that into place, going in, adding that bit of pressure with our pokey tool, going with the next one, and you're following. It's a little bit like painting with numbers, but without the numbers. And it's cardstock, not paint. So we're just working our way in, following along. We can go in with the leaves as well. And then we're going to pop that in, press that in. We're going to take one more of the leaf, pop that into place. And then what we can also do is then go along in with the borders. So let's take that green here, work our way down. So I'm going to alternate. So let's bring in another green into here. And then what we can also do is look at the background. Now I'm only using 4 colours of card. You will see from my finished example, I've used an additional 2. So in total, I've used 6 colours. You'll see the ones in a moment. But we're going to then work our way around. And that's what you're doing with each section. You're starting at a specific point, and then you're working your way around. When you've run out of your cardstock, you can start to use all of your own card, Centura Apparel, linen cardstock, your glitter cards, all of these you can absolutely use. And then let's do one more before I bring in my finished. We're going to then press that into place. Now when it comes to your finished example, we're going to move all them out the way, and then what we're then going to do, we're going to bring in our finished example, and this is what it's going to look like once we fill the full image. Now you'll notice I used another tone of green, and then I also went in with another tone of the deep blue. So there is your 6 colours I've used from the Craft Club. So I can pop that out the way and then use that another time. And let's start to build and assemble our card. So I've popped my foam pads already on the back. So I know that I've got height here. It's always, as I say, optional. You can keep it flat if you want to. You can raise it up with your glue gel if you want. But we're going to go in and we're going to then just position that into place. And then I'm going to go in with a sentiment from my own stash. You can add a sentiment stamp from your past craft clubs, or you can come along and you can use the sentiments from the rub-on craft clubs. It's up to you. We're going to press that in. You could add gems to finish, you can add sequins to finish, but that is one of the techniques that you can do and create when when it comes to Craft Club month number 19, and it's all about the paper piecing techniques. Now, when it comes to our Craft Club, this is all about paper piecing techniques from month number 19. There's different forms of paper piecing, such as the stained glass window alcohol colouring, when you are choosing the sections to colour. Now let's get started. Now to start with, what I've already done, we're going to replicate that card, we're just changing some of the papers. I've already gone in with my own pattern paper, 3.5 inches by 5.5 inches, giving that a matting layer onto white card. Now the outer die that comes with the rose, I've ran that one through my Gemini, which gives me that aperture. Now there's a reason why I've done that one first. What we're then going to do is set that out the way. Now what we're going to pretend is we're going to pretend that this is the front of a 4x6 card blank. Now it's just a single sheet. We're pretending it's 4x6 because my actual card blank I've already cut into, and I'll show you that shortly. So we're using this as a pretend layer. So what we're going to do, we're going to open up our 4x6 card blank, and we're going to pop our frame into the middle, like so. We're then going to go in with just the detail die. We're not going to go in and use the outer die, we're only using the detail die. Now by doing it this way, this means that we can get the perfect position of the central detail rose where we need it. So we're going to take our low tack tape, I'm going to then hold that into place, and then I'm just going to use my tape, and then we're going to tape that down. Now I know that is bang centre in the middle of my frame as to where I need it, and we're just going to then just adjust that ever so slightly, work and press. You can put a little bit of tape on the back of your frame if you want to, but I'm just going to go in, hold, double check, we're good to go. So we're going to then go in with our plates here. Now with this pretending to be a 4x6, we'll make sure the card blank is opened, and we're going to go frosted, magnetic, and then top plate. So we're going to run all of that through. So what that's going to give us into our card blank is that's going to give us the outer detail of the rose, but by staying in the card because we've not used that outer die. So if we prise that one away here, and just in a moment, this is when I'll bring in the actual card blank to show you. We're going to then take that one off here. We're then going to then discard all of these little bits. We're going to then use our brush, take all these out, and what you could do if you wanted to is you could have put a little bit of the hold and release sheet on the back. That would then enable you to use these later when it comes to other paper piecing with card. But as it is, we've now got our die cut into what would be our card blank. Now what do I mean by that? Let's bring it in here, and here we go. This is my card blank that we've got. So I've already opened it up, I've done exactly the same, but it's into our card blank now. So if I bring in that outer frame, you can see perfect fit. Absolutely bang on. So set that to the side, and then we're going to come along here with some of that black cardstock. That is the panels that you get included, the double-sided adhesive sheets, and also some of the acetate. All comes included within month number 19. We're going to then take one side of the sheets off. This is the double-sided adhesive sheets, and we're going to then press that into place. I'm going to take my scissors here, I'm going to trim that excess off just to make it a little bit easier for myself. And what I mean by that is if I turn that over, I'm going to go back in with the die. We're going to take all these little bits out, and then we're going to die cut that into place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the outer die. Now it does just fit and no more, so we just need to make sure that we've got it exactly where we need, and then we're going to align both of these. So what this is going to do, this is then going to cut out the detail of the rose. It's going to actually cut it out of my cardstock because I'm using the outer die, but then it's also given me that sticky backing, and we're making our own sticker. We've got cardstock, which is about 300 GSM. We've got a middle sticky layer, and we've got a non-stick backing. So what I'm going to do, and this is personal preference, is I'm going to go in with my magnetic shim. I'm going to pop that at an angle, and then we're going to go in with the rest of our plate configuration. Frosted, magnetic top plate. Now don't worry if you don't have a G2 or an OG Gemini. You can use these with other branded machines. You just need to check the plate configuration. But by adding that metal shim, that's going to cut through the card with ease, the sticky layer with ease, and also the non-stick backing sheet with ease. So we're going to pop all of these out now, take these out the way. We've still got our acetate hiding there, and then we're going to prise that out. Now the thing when it comes to a sticky backing, you will find that it stays in place. All you'll need to do is go in with a little bit more force of your die release tool, or of course your pokey tool. Once you've got to a point where you can't pop any more out with the tool, you're going to come along and then you're just going to use your pokey tool, take all the remaining bits out. And the reason that they stay in place a little bit more than a layer of card without your adhesive layer is you need to keep in mind, essentially, you have got a sticky layer in the middle there. So that's all that's holding it into place. It's die cut with perfection, but we just need to spend that little bit of time popping these bits out. The die tool, that will take most of the bits out, and the little monkeys that just won't leave, you're popping them out with your pokey tool. So once you've got to the end there, just that few more to go, we're then going to take the backing off because we've made our sticker. So pop it out into place and then move all these out the way. So I've still got my acetate layer there, and now we're going to come along and we're going to peel the backing off. So we're just going to take that backing and then just get a nice grip. If you need to use your pokey tool, you can do. So we're just going to get in there, get that first corner and prise that away. Now don't always bin these because these are a non-stick backing. Spritz through them, ink through them. You can do lots of different techniques with them. And I can see I've got another little monkey there just not leaving. There we go. That's it now. So we can go in with our acetate layer. Trust me, it is there. We can just see the glare. And we're going to then press that into place. So we're going to press it into place, and we're going to give that a really nice push. Push it down, press it into the acetate. Now this gives us a base for us to colour into, or you can always leave it as it is and it gives you a nice, crisp, clean base to see through. So trim the excess here. Then we're going to go in with our pens. Now I'm doing selective colouring paper piecing. You can do the whole lot, but I'm only going to use a few. Now you can go in with your Classiques, your tri-blends, anything that is alcohol base. For a change, I'm going to go in with my Illustrators. The colour I'm using, you can use these and find these within tri-blends and Classiques, but I'm just going to use Illustrators for a change. I'm using magenta, I'm using the camel green, and I'm also using the Parisian blue. What I would say, tip, when you're colouring onto the acetate, use darker tones of your alcohol pens. If you use the lighter tones, you're not really going to see that colour coming through onto the acetate because it's translucent. So use maybe a little bit of the darker tones. So show you, let's do that bit of colour in here. So we're going to then, I'm popping it on a bit of white cardstock to show you. And the great thing is, because it's black cardstock, it means you're not going to see any outer lines. So let's go in with the magenta. So I'm going to go in with the fine nib when it comes to the magenta, and we're going to keep it really simple, and that is it. The thing with acetate is it's not feasible to do any blending, so therefore keeps the colouring really simple. You don't have to worry about different tones, you don't have to worry about blending. All we're doing is we're laying a base of the colour. Now the squeak noise is normal, but we can go in there with the fine nib. Now the little nib that comes within the tri-blends in the Classique. That's also a really, really nice nib. The finer, the better. I wouldn't use something like a chisel because that's going to make it harder to get in. Alternatively, the Japanese brush nibs, these are also easy to get in there as well. As many things, it's personal preference. So let's do a little bit more when it comes to the head of the rose. But as you can see, it comes together really quick because you don't have to overthink it. All you're thinking is, where am I colouring? So I'm using the colour, the magenta, into all of the areas of the rose head, and that's it. There's our rose. So if I start to lift that up, look at that. How fab is that? Now that is a 5-tone, so that's MG5. So that's quite deep, but see how light that is onto the acetate. Can you imagine if you used a really light tone, it would be a little bit harder to see. So that's why I tend to say use a darker tone. Let's go in with the camo green now, using that finer nib once again, and then we're going to go into the stalks, work our way down and into the leaves. So we're going to colour in. I find this so therapeutic by working our way, cherry picking, selective paper piecing with your colouring pens. You can colour the whole image if you want to. If you've seen the past tutorial where we paper pieced with actual cardstock, then you can do that and choose your own colours and do the lot. But I'm only doing the rose head, I'm only doing the leaves, and I'm also going to do just a couple of the border frame. Once again, that is it. That's all that I'm doing, and it starts to pick up the green just beautifully. And then let's go in with the Parisian blue here, and we're going to have a look at the borders down the side. So let's go into that one, let's go into the next one, and then let's go into the next one, and that is part of that one. There, I noticed I've just missed a leaf, and that's going to annoy me, so let's colour that in. Really simple to go back. Then we're going to offset, so let's go blue, and the blue, this is the offset one, and so is this one here. And then we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So let's go in with the top one, like so. We're going to go in with the next one, and notice how quick I'm scribbling. I'm not spending a lot of time, a lot of care. I'm getting that colour down, and then we're going to go into the next bit. Let's go into the second last one, into there, and then let's go into that one. There we go. And that is all that I'm going to do. Now what I am going to show you, nothing different, that's the one I'd already done before, but look at that, I've already done and completed a full one in front of your eyes. That's how simple and effective it is. So let's complete the card now. So this one here, notice we're going to end up sticking that over the top. But what happens, where's it gone? It's disappeared. So take a piece of the white cardstock. Now I've just trimmed this, and we're going to stick that into the middle. Now this is where you can start to use your glue. Remember, you've got the glue included. I'm going to use our own glue. The only reason being is I've got loads of these opened up. I don't want to open another one until I need to. So once these have run out, use our Crafter's Companion white glue as normal. So if you're wondering why I'm not using the glue included, it's just because I don't want to waste my other glue. So I'm going to go in here with my glue. You can use your tape runner if you want to, but by putting that white insert into place, what will happen is once we add that back in, you can see that the colour starts to then pop through. There we go, because we've got that white backdrop. So let's complete this. Let's go in with our outer frame. So I'm going to add my glue. I'm alternating in tutorial videos between our tape runner and also our glue. So let's frame that like so. And then what we can do is we can go in with our image. This is where we're also going to use your tacky glue. We're going to work our way around. Now I wouldn't use the dotted tape runner because the dotted tape runner would cover the blank areas of the acetate, so you'll see some of that adhesive. So this is where you're going to want to use your tacky glue, because it will dry clear, so don't worry. The only thing you have to do is you just need to let it dry a little bit longer than you would onto cardstock, because the acetate is a non-porous surface. It will hold incredibly strong. You just need to let that dry a little bit longer. We're going to overlay that straight over the top. Now, the reason we also cut into the card blank is that makes it really neat. How neat is that? We're not saying, this is what I mean, you need to let that glue dry a little bit longer than cardstock. But if I didn't have that backing layer already cut, you're going to see the adhesives, you're going to see the streaks. Once these bits of glue have dried, you're not going to see anything. It's nice, it's neat, it's professional. Press that into place. Let's take a couple of things to finish off here. I've gone in with the excess black cardstock and created a couple of banners here. Let's take our glue. It's all about using the little extras as well. Add that detail, finish off. And then I've gone in with my own sentiment stamp from my stash. Use your own stash, use your sentiments from past craft clubs, use the sentiments from the foil transfer craft club, and then we're just going to then offset that to the side here, because we don't want to cover the rows. And then I've just got a bow here, finish off. For this one, I am just going to use my tape. I would use the glue, however, I'd need to let that dry a little bit longer. When I lift it up, it would just drop off. So there we go. There is paper piecing techniques when it comes to alcohol colouring. Just going to give that one a press there for that to then stand. And then that one there, Craft Club month number 19, and it's all about paper piecing techniques. Now, when it comes to the techniques of our craft club, this is month number 19 and it's all about paper piecing techniques. There's actually different forms of paper piecing. For instance, this one here, where we're doing the selective paper piecing with the glitters that come included. So we're going to then start off by die cutting with that beautiful kingfisher, and then we're going to delve in with the glitters. Now, to start with, I'm going to go in with a piece of my own white cardstock. Now, within the circular kingfisher die, what you have got, the detailed die that cuts in and the outer die that cuts it out. So we're going to start off by using the actual circle die onto the white cardstock, and we're going to run that one through our Gemini. So I'm going to go along, I'm going to use my low tack tape to secure that one. So no tape or anything like that on the back of the card, it's just pure white cardstock on its own, and this is going to give us our layer to build the paper piecing technique of the glitters over the top. So once that one's cut out, we're going to take that one, and then we're going to set that one to the side for now. We're going to take the die once again. We're also going to take the detailed kingfisher die, and then we're going to go in with the black cardstock that comes included, and also one of the double-sided adhesive sheets. Now we're going to take the sticky side and we're going to go sticky side face down, and we're going to press that into place so we've got a really, really good adhesion. We're going to take our scissors and I'm just going to trim that excess off. Just means when I turn it over, I know I've got the full area to play with when it comes to positioning of my die. Now, it doesn't matter at this point what way is up and if it's upside down, because you're not going to notice by the time we take it out and pop the bits out. So let's position that into place using both the dies with that adhesive layer onto the back, and we're going to go in with our plates. Now, because we've got our white cardstock or our black cardstock that is 300 GSM, you've got that sticky layer in the middle, and then you've got that non-stick backing. That's 3 layers that it's cutting through. Now, the Gemini, of course, cuts through that with absolute ease. However, we want to give it that little bit of a helping hand. I want to give you a helping hand by making it easier to pop the little bits out. So therefore, by adding in that metal shim, it makes it that little bit easier. So we're going to then take it out. What you will find is that these will mostly stay in place. So all you need to do is go in with your die release tool and pop all of these out. Now the ones that stay in place, you're going to take your poke tool and pop them out. And the reason being, that top layer, of course, is your black cardstock. The base layer is your non-stick backing sheet. The middle layer is a sticky layer, and that is what's holding all the little bits into place. So you can see they're cut to perfection. You just need to give them a helping hand by popping them out, so then you've then got your outer sticker essentially. So popping these bits out, grabbing a hold of them. You can always use your tweezers if you want to, whatever you find easier when it comes to releasing them. So we're going to take these bits out. Once they're out, we're going to then repeat that step. Now you don't need to watch me do it again because I've already done one. Exactly the same. We've got our adhesive layer over the back, so we're all good. So that is 2 of the circle kingfishers cut in black with our sticky layer on the back. We're going to pop one to the side, and we're going to bring in that white layer, that white circle that we've already cut. And when it comes to one of them, we're going to peel the backing off. So get a hold of the corner, or go in with your poke tool or your tweezers, prise that one apart. So we're just going to carefully prise that apart, pull that away, and then we can then pop that onto our base layer. We're going to then pop it in, align that up. Alternatively, if you're like me at times and you're a little bit of a lazy crafter and you find little shortcuts, you could always just stick that black outline onto a piece of white cardstock and trim all the way around. So you've got different options, but press that in, hold it down. Now we've now got a backing for us to start to do the paper piecing with the glitters. So the glitters, let's bring all of them in. We've got 11 colours here, different tones, different shades, and you're going to, this is what you're going to do, you're going to take a scrap bit of cardstock, you're going to get all of these ready, you're going to go in with the glue. Now I'm using our Crafter's Companion glue, only reason is because I've got loads of these already open. I don't want to open another one until I need to. When you've used up your glue, just use a Crafter's Companion white glue. It's exactly the same, just a different bottle. So that's why I'm using this one. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put the kettle on, you're going to make a cuppa or coffee, and then you're going to come back, you're going to sit, you're going to relax, and you're going to start to do your paper piecing with the glitters. So you're going to, let's start off with, let's go in with the red. Let's go in with the bright red. You have got the shaker in the top. We can just start to see the little shaker, the little holes there, or do what I do, and I actually prefer just to take the whole top off. Now it's a little bit taut, it needs to be, because you don't want the lid to fall off with the glitters inside, and set that to the side. So we're going to go in with our glue. Now if you're using the glue that comes in included, same, that's a little bit of a finer nib, and we're going to colour essentially with our glue. So let's have a look, and I'm going to go into some of these sections here with the red. So we're going to work our way in. We're going to go into all of the little nooks and crannies. We're going to use the nib of our glue to push it into all of the areas, and then we're going to fill in the next one, and then we're going to carry on to the next one, and all the sections that you want to be red are what we're going to colour in with the glue. Now don't do the whole lot, and don't put your double-sided adhesive sheet onto the white cardstock, because what will happen, that makes the back end all sticky. You pour one colour of glitter on, and all that's going to happen is you're going to have a one-tone coloured, well, kingfisher, which we don't want. Well, you might do, but for this technique, we don't. So I'm going to go into that outer frame, and I'm going to alternate the sections, because these are also going to be red. And we're working our way round like so, work our way round like so, into that one like that, and that's also part of that frame. And then once you're happy with that, don't worry about glue going over the edge. Don't worry about any of the glitter sticking over the edge, because that is where that top layer will come in, because we're going to hide any of the workings, any of the excess, so don't worry about that. So once you've coloured in with the glue for your first colour, take in the colour that you want, and then we're going to sprinkle it all over. Now, if you've got time, I would recommend do your first colour, leave it for maybe 5 or so minutes, and then come back and do the next colour. So tap all that out. Now, the reason I also want to tap all that excess off is I don't want to cross-contaminate with my next colours. I'm just quickly going to go at the side, blow any excess, and that's our first colour done. So let's pop all of that excess glitter back into the tub. I'm using a little bit of excess white cardstock that we've got. At home, I would use the most inexpensive copier paper for your home printer. Makes it easier to pop it all back into. Now, because I'm going to use that same card, let's just get rid of this excess glitter, pop the lid on, and then we're going to choose our next colour. So for the next colour, let's go in with the bright green. Now, we've got a bright green, we've got a jade green, we've got a couple of tones of olive greens in there, but we're going to go in with a good old true to life bright green. Take the lid off again, or use the sprinkler, that's up to you. And then we're going to repeat exactly what we've done a moment ago. So let's have a look now. So when it comes to this part of the body of the kingfisher, we're going to go in with the glue. We're going to go into there. And then we're going to go in with some of the leaves, because some of the leaves will do the bright green, some of the leaves will do in the jade green, and some in the end will have the olive green. So we're mixing tones to create a lovely coloured layer of glitter. And then let's go into this one, and you can change it up. You can use maybe just 2 glitters if you want. You might want to use 6 of them. You might want to, by the end, do what I'll have done, and that is used all 11. Let's go in with a couple more within the bright green. So we're going in. Once you've done the first one, every single layer is exactly the same. All you're doing is you're just changing the colour of your glitter. So let's go in now with the green. I'm just going to make sure I don't have any red left onto my card, and then we're going to sprinkle this over. Now, the reason I was quite determined to also sprinkle the excess red glitter off is so that I don't cross-contaminate. I can now put that back in the tub because I know there is no red in there. You've got a little bit of the green sitting on top of the red. Don't worry, that will tap off as well at the end. So it's all you're doing is you're colouring with your glue, making sure the excess is off, and then you're going to finish. So let's fold that back in. We're going to then pop that into our tub, and then we're going to do one more layer before we bring in my finished example. So take any excess off so we don't cross-contaminate with the next colour. And then let's go in, we've done green, we've done red, let's go in with a little bit of bright blue here. Let's pop my lid back onto the glitter. And these are going to last you so long, because you actually don't need a lot when it comes to the actual image. So pop it back in, and we're going to repeat the step again. So let's get our glue ready. Let's then take the lid off. I'm going to pop all these extras to the side for now because I'm not going to need them. And then we're going to look and see what do I want to be that bright electric blue. So let's go into the back part of the kingfisher all the way down. Let's go into here. And what I love about this technique, but also Craft Club in general, is you can now go and look at all of your outline dies that you've got. If you're like me, you're going to have an abundance of glitters from the past. You're going to want to start to use them up now, because now you know with ease how to do the paper piecing with the glitters. So we're going to go in with this one, And then let's go, I think I'm pretty, let's do the top there, into place, press it in, and then that will leave at that point, once we've popped the glitters on, work it in. The other thing that I don't do, which I usually do with glitter, usually I'll press it in, but again I don't want to do that because I don't want to cross-contaminate. Plus at the moment, all my other layers of glue are wet. So if I go in and press it all in, I'm going to smudge the glue. So let's tap that off. Can you see how, look at that, how that's coming to life, section by section, and then you can start to finish off. So pop this excess into place. What about mixing techniques? What about doing some with the glitter and some with your cardstock paper piecing? Maybe do some with your glitter and some with your luxury metallic cardstock from Crafter's Companion. Maybe do some glitter, some cards, some with your alcohol colouring. So have fun, mix and match. But let's bring in the one that I've done here. This goes to show you, by the end, you think, oh, it's a little bit of a mess, Craig. So this is where we've left off when it comes to that layer there. So you'll see that layer now at that point with the 3 colours. So that is where we're at. And then this is what it's like once we're finished. But even the black layer is just, it's fallen. We're not really letting it see it stand out. So we're going to go in with that additional layer that we've cut. We're going to peel that back in off. So let's take our pokey tool and then let's just get a hold of that one into the corner, either pokey tool or going in with, of course, your tweezers. So we're going to grab hold. Once you get there, all you need is just that tiny little section to come along using the tool. Once you've grabbed it, there we go, got a hold of it, we're just then going to peel it. Do it slowly because you've got intricate die cut pieces, so we don't want to tear any of them. And then we're going to overlay that bang over the top. So we're going to find where it needs to go. Once we're happy with the positioning, that's now going to elevate the Kingfisher with all the individual glitters that have been paper piecing, and you can see what it also does is it frames it. It adds a little bit more of a sparkle. Well, technically it doesn't, but it just gives you that look of an additional sparkle with the framed black. So let's assemble our card here. So I've gone in with a 6x6 card, used just some of my own pattern papers, used my white card, used my black card, and then we're going to layer these ones up. So we're going to pop that one into place. Let's go in with a little bit of green stripe pattern paper. Bring out all your papers that you've got left from your craft club, and then when you've used all your previous papers, go in with your stash from Crafter's Companion, your 6x6, your 12x12s, cut them down, use them when it comes to the paper piecing of Craft Club. And then a couple of simple nesting dies cut out within the block cardstock, so that's the colour you get included within Craft Club, and then I've just used some of the black card included as well with the scallop die from my stash. And then we're going to set that to the side, press that in. Let's bring in our glitter background. I'm going to use my tacky glue for this one. You can use your tape runner, it's up to you. That's going to then sit into the middle, press that in, hold that one in, and then I'm going to go in just with my own sentiment from my own stash. You can use your sentiments from past craft clubs. It's entirely up to you, but we can then press that into place. And then there we go. We've got our finished card, which is on 6x6, but that could be smaller if you want to. That could be more of a bigger statement on a larger card. But that's one of the techniques when it comes to Craft Club. It's month number 19, and it's all about paper piecing techniques.